Well, if you haven't heard yet, the big news out of Hollywood is that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down at the end of 2025. She's going to retire. Now, I'm here to tell you that I am the biggest proponent of Kathleen Kennedy leaving. I think she's done a horrific job at Star Wars. And she did not do her job any justice at all. It was so bad that they did a South Park episode about her and the terrible job she was doing at Lucasfilm. So, that being said, I'm super nervous. And why? Well, I'll let you know after I read this article about Kathleen Kennedy leaving. So, stick with me, stick through this article, and I'll come back and I'll let you know my thoughts and ideas about Kathleen Kennedy leaving. So, let me pull this up. Oh, and if you're liking my content, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And hit that thumbs up button. It really helps my video. Let me pull up this article. So it says Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy reportedly retiring at the end of 2025. I wonder if this is going to be like a Justin Trudeau thing where they say they're retiring, but then it takes them like a year or two before they actually retire. After over a decade at the helm of Star Wars, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly looking to step down by the end of 2025. As reported by Puck News, the veteran film producer and Lucasfilm head is looking to retire at the end of her contract this year. Additionally, Puck claims Kennedy previously considered retiring in 2024, but decided to hold off on making a decision. It should be noted that Variety reports that a source close to Kennedy has called Puck's story pure speculation, but the Hollywood Reporter confirmed Puck's story also. Okay. Kennedy joined Lucasfilm in 2012 and served as a hand-picked co-chair to run the studio alongside George Lucas. Once Lucas departed, Kennedy was promoted to president and has been running the Star Wars stable ever since. Her tenure included overseeing a new sequel trilogy that comprises Star Wars Episodes 7 through 9, as well as the start of Star Wars streaming era that include The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Andor, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, and more. While some films like Star Wars The Force Awakens have proven to be blockbuster hits, other films have proven more divisive, with movies like Solo, A Star Wars Story, losing money at the box office. While unconfirmed, Kennedy's departure would raise further questions over a string of announced and rumored projects like new movies from James Mangold, Taika Waititi, and Donald Glover. There's also an untitled Rey movie that was announced but is taking time to fully materialize. The next slate of Star Wars projects includes The Mandalorian Grogu and a new Star Wars trilogy from Simon Kinberg. Prior to her work at Lucasfilm, Kennedy co-founded Amblin Entertainment with Steven Spielberg and Frank Marshall. She has produced iconic films like E.T., Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and other 90s classics, earning her 8 Academy Award nominations for Best Picture. So there you go. What do you think? And I didn't know that she was part of those 80s and 90s movies, Back to the Future. And also, I didn't know that she co-chaired what was it? Yeah, I didn't know she co-chaired with George Lucas to run Lucasfilm, and then he stepped away. I just thought that once he sold it, it was Kathleen Kennedy's whole enchilada, and George really didn't have much to say. And I don't know why George didn't stick around and try to put his stamp on things instead of letting her run it. So anyway, I promised you that I would let you know my thoughts on this retirement. And my thought is that I'm nervous who they're going to bring in to fill Kathleen Kennedy's shoes. I heard rumors that they were thinking of bringing in Leslie Headland, and if you don't know who that is, that's the person who directed and kind of created the Acolyte show. And I thought it was so horrific that I definitely will never watch it again. But the thing is that I was hearing rumors that they were grooming Leslie Headland to take over for Kathleen Kennedy when she left. And I don't understand why. And the reason I don't understand why is because when she was doing the Acolyte, first of all, she brought in writers who had no idea anything Star Wars. They watched some of the Star Wars movies weeks before they started writing, and they had not immersed themselves into the culture, into the movies, or anything, the literature, nothing. They knew nothing, nothing at all. And you can't write great movies or stories if you don't know anything about the subject. So that was one thing. The other thing was is that she brought in actors who didn't know anything about Star Wars either. They brought in these characters, actors, who sat up there when they were being interviewed, and one of the guys said it was Anakin that blew up the Death Star. And it wasn't a slip of the tongue. That is who he actually said. He said it 2 or 3 times that it was Anakin that blew up the Death Star. So I don't know, maybe Luke missed and it was Anakin that shot the Death Star, in his TIE fighter as he was spinning away from the Death Star. There's a saying, and the saying is, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. So I'm on the fence. Am I happy Kathleen's leaving? Yes. Am I scared who they're going to bring in? Yes. So if they bring in Leslie Headland, I will be so disappointed and so upset. And I would rather have Kathleen Kennedy than Leslie Headland as the head person for Lucasfilm. I mean, they have Dave Filoni. I don't know why they don't put him through there, or Jon Favreau. Why don't they bring them in? I saw a blurb stating that they were thinking of bringing him in as Lucasfilm president. So it says Dave Filoni is expected to be announced as new Lucasfilm president when Kathleen Kennedy retires. They always say things and then they have a way of changing it. So I don't know. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Am I nervous? Yes. So that's my take on it. What's your take on Kathleen Kennedy? I know a lot of people are going to say they just need to get her out of there regardless, whatever. Just regardless of anything that happens, just get her out of there. Okay. But then there's a vacuum. Who's going to fill that vacuum? Is it going to be somebody horrible that's not going to do Star Wars justice? The only thing I have about Dave Filoni is he's super focused on Star Wars Rebels and Ahsoka and his Mandalorian that he created. Is that going to be all that's going to be happening with Star Wars after he becomes president? We'll have to see. I don't know. I'm just going to sit back, get my popcorn, and watch as things unfold. But there's a rumor going around that there's a TV series that's coming up that will be dealing with some of the legends of Star Wars, the extended universe part. And if you have not heard about this, it deals with Mara Jade. Now, how will they deal with Mara Jade? Will they do a retcon where she meets Luke and they fall in love, or is this going to be a totally different issue where she's a totally different person than the Mara Jade we know from the extended universe and legends? I don't know. Check out the video here and you'll find out. It's really good. I did it. And give it a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe. And give a thumbs up to this too. Remember, the Force will be with you always.